Hello, I'm the Dark Master, and welcome back to the History of Mississippi. In this episode, we'll be discussing the person who, quote unquote, discovered Mississippi, Hernando DeSoto, his journey and its impact. Before we get started, I want to just comment on one argument that annoys me to no end.
Well enough alone, but the culture isn't becoming hypersensitive, it's just wisening up as hard truths become ever clearer.
In Hernando DeSoto's cruise notes, they mention potential problems that Native Americans might pose or have. Nick, we have always known this was a thing. Don't kid yourself. Even DeSoto beat you on that. And he was way more ignorant than you. Anyway, what inspired the Spanish to send Hernando DeSoto to North America? Well, after Columbus arrived in the Bahamas, the Spanish monarchy of Isabella I and Ferdinand II thought to expand their influence in the New World. In such a way, DeSoto was sent to be exploring the North American mainland and was the first European to cross the Mississippi River and one of the first to land an expedition deep into what would become the United States. The journey went as follows. Starting in Florida, the crew went west, going through numerous states until arriving in Mississippi, near present-day Tupelo, where they spent the winter. After crossing the Mississippi River, which was determined by a commission appointed by Franklin D. Roosevelt to be Sunflower Landing, DeSoto died of fever in May 21st, 1542. Now, this might be considered of little importance. After all, even the Spanish crown considered the excursion a failure, as they acquired neither gold nor prosperity, nor founded any colonies. However, the expedition had several major impacts on both the Native Americans and the New World in general. With regards to animals, DeSoto's expedition continued the process of Columbian exchange. For some of the swine he brought over for food escaped and became the ancestors of the feral razorback pigs in the southeastern United States that are still a problem to this very day. DeSoto's men contributed to the development of hostile relationships between many native tribes and Europeans, though who started these conflicts cannot be determined. More everlasting is that they spread measles, smallpox, and chickenpox, which killed millions, for the Native Americans lacked the resistance that the Europeans had built up through numerous events such as the Black Plague. Of course, the Native Americans gave the Europeans syphilis, but, historians really don't talk about that because, and, to be honest, syphilis isn't quite as bad as smallpox. Though I wouldn't say that to someone who suffers from syphilis, if you know what I mean. Not all the effects were inherently bad, however. Hernando DeSoto and his men were both the first and nearly the last Europeans to witness the civilizations of the Mississippian culture. Their records of the expedition contributed greatly to European knowledge about geography, biology, and the ethology of North America. DeSoto's expedition also led the Spanish to reconsider their attitude towards colonies outside of Latin America. Said colonies would be mostly concentrated on the state of Florida and along the Pacific coast. What would happen to Mississippi? Well, that would leave it open for another colonial power, which we'll be discussing next time on The History of Mississippi.